Hello everyone. Today we are gonna cover some problems related to growing annuity. So here, your father is now 50 years old. This is just an assumption. And then he's gonna retire 10 years from now. And then he expects to live 25 more years after he retires. And then his first retirement payment should be the current value of $40,000, and the inflation rate is expected to be 5%. And then he's going to receive his retirement payments at the beginning of the time period, not at the end of the time period. So it is an ordinary annuity due formula, not ordinary annuity formula. And then he also has $100,000 current savings, and then the current interest rate is now 8%. Question is, to the nearest dollar, how much must he save during each of the next 10 years so that he can get his expected retirement income? All right. So first, we are going to calculate the target payments he wants to get. Remember, he wants to get the current value of $40,000 10 years from now. So this means $40,000 today, and then suppose somebody deposits $40,000 today, and then you want to know the future value of this $40,000, and what is the interest rate here? The interest rate here should be equivalent to the inflation rate of 5%. So you want to know the $40,000, the future value of $40,000 10 years from now at 5% inflation rate. All right. So here our question is, what is the future value? Now, here our rate is how much? Our rate is 5%. NFR is how much? Our NFR is 10. And then our present value is how much? Our present value is $40,000. And what is our question here? What is the future value? All right. Equal future value, and then rate 5%, then NPAR 10, PMT 0, and then present value, so negative $40,000. Hit enter. So your father wants to get $65,155.79 retirement income in each time period. All right. Now, in the next stage, we want to know the value of this periodic $65,155 payments at the beginning of the retirement time period. Remember, your father wants to get his retirement payment at the beginning of the time period, not at the end of the time period. So it is an annuity due formula. Now, if we draw the timeline, so here you have time period all the way from 0 to 25, and then the periodic payment. The periodic payment PMT here is equal to $65,155.79, and then the interest rate here, rate 8%, and then NPAR here is how much? 25 years, and then you want to know how much you need to accumulate right here. So you want to know the present value. And remember, the payments here happens at the beginning of the time period. So it is an annuity due formula. Right. So let us do it now. So equal present value. Then you rate 8%. You earn par. Your N per here is 25. Next, PMT. So PMT, negative PMT. You don't have any lump sum future value amount. So it is 0. And then it is an annuity due formula. So the payments happen at the beginning of the time period. So therefore, time type should be equal to 1. Close the bracket, hit enter. So now from this problem, you need to accumulate in total $751,165, $751,165.30 to get this $65,155.79 for the next 25 years at the beginning of the time period at a rate of 8% interest rate. All right, now we also, your father also has $100,000 savings right now, and by right now we means here, and then this, remember this 0 is the beginning of his retirement period. So he is going to retire 10 years from now, right? And today, right now, your father has $100,000 savings. So this $100,000 will grow at a rate of 8% interest for the next 10 years. And then he's gonna receive some lump sum amount at the end of year number 10 right here. So it is a future value formula. So let us start. Future value. And then here, the rate is how much? 8% rate. And then N per is how much? N per is 10. Remember, this amount will grow for how many years? For 10 years. And then PMT is 0. So your father here is not making any periodic payment. So it is 0. Next, present value. So negative $100,000. So the future value of your father's savings is how much? $251,892.50. So you can see here, your father needs how much? Your father needs this money. And then how much he's gonna get from his current savings? $215,892. So the gap between the amount he needs and the amount he's gonna save is the amount he needs to accumulate more in order to get his desired retirement income. So the target accumulation at retirement is amount your father need minus amount your father will get from his current savings. So your father needs how much? $535,272 more in order to get his desired retirement income. Now, how he's gonna make this money? He's gonna deposit some equal amount for the next 10 years. So now, from the time period right now till his retirement time period, he's gonna deposit some equal amount, PMT. And the question is, what is that PMT which will give him this $535,272. Right. So let us calculate. So it is PMT, and we know our rate is 8%. And par, your father will deposit money for how many years? For 10 years. Next, PV. No PV here, so 0. Your father wants to accumulate how much? $535,272. Right. So that PMT is $36,949.61. Let's move now to the next problem. In the next problem, you want to accumulate $1 million by your retirement date, which is 25 years from now. And then you are going to make 25 deposits in your bank with the first occurring today. That means it is an annuity due formula. And then your bank will pay 8% interest rate. And then an annual inflation rate is 3%. At the same time, you're going to grow your payment by the annual inflation rate. Right. Now, the question is, what should be your very first payment, which will then grow by the inflation rate? Right. So here you can see this is the nominal amount you want to get 25 years from now. So here you are going to first calculate the real value of this amount. So real value means value adjusted for the inflation. And then you are going to calculate your PMT for this real value using the real rate or real interest rate. Then you are going to get the PMT adjusted for the inflation. So this is the problem where you are going to apply this logic. If you want to know value of some real amount, then you need to use real interest rate. On the other hand, if you want to know the value of some nominal amount, you want to use some nominal interest rate. So here you can see we want to know the PMT of some real value. And to get this PMT, we are using the real interest rate. All right. So let us start. First, let us calculate the real value of the target accumulation. So here the rate is 3%. This is the inflation rate. And par 25 years from now, no PMT. And then future value. So this is the real value of $100,000 25 years from now. Now, so if we draw the timeline, year number 0 to year number 25, the real amount you want to accumulate 25 years from now is $477,605. And then you want to know the PMT, the annual payment you need to make to get this money. Remember, your PMT will also grow by the inflation rate. Now, the interest rate you're going to use to get this PMT is also the real interest rate. So let us calculate real interest rate. Now, let me remind you the formula for real interest rate. So real interest rate, 1 plus nominal interest rate divided by 1 plus inflation minus 1. So let us start. Equal 1 plus your nominal rate 8% divided by 1 plus your inflation rate minus 1. So the real interest rate is 4.85%. Now let us calculate the PMT. PMT, your rate is your real interest rate, your NPAR is 25, and then your PV is 0, your future value is $477,000. And remember, you want to make your payment at the beginning of the time period. So 1, close the bracket, hit enter. So it is $9,736.96 what you need to deposit today. And then this amount will grow at the real interest rate of 4.85% and the current inflation rate of 3%. Then at the end of year number 25, you are going to accumulate in total $1 million, which will have a real value of $477,605. That's all from this part. Thank you.